So we're on the fringes of the No War with Iran group that looks like they're getting ready to march. They've been looking like they've been getting ready to march like for over a half an hour now. But we've had some great conversations. There'll even be some media coming up, a short film even coming up. Great prospects for CPI, and not just people interested, but potentially people that might be engaged, that certainly understand and resonate with our messages. So Joey's here, as you can see, and Timothy and Ishmael and myself. We got our signs, and we're doing our thing. Waiting for some kind of action so we can interact with more people, but we're more focused on individuals walking by. We need peace in the Middle East and all over the world. We need a government of action that works for the working families and not for the rich people at the top. We need a government of action for working families. And the only way that we could do that is if we come together and create a movement to demand that change. We need public ownership of natural resources like they do in anti-imperialist countries like China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. You know, the people that are supposed to be our enemies are the guys that we don't like very much. They're actually focused on economic development, not on destruction, but construction. They're not focused on degrowth, but building. And we need to follow that model, not the model of genocide and murder and war and sanctions and embargoes. We need a government of action for working families. That's our theme at the Center for Political Innovation. And if you join us, you'll understand more and more, and you'll learn more and more about the history of a lot of different things that clearly has been left out of our school systems. And not just on the basic level of K to 12, but all the way up to our Ivy League schools even, that are supposedly the cream of the crop of this country's education. People aren't learning anything about real history and real economics. We need a government of action for the working people of this country, not for the rich at the very top. But the only way that's going to happen is to take the protest phase to the next phase of creating a movement. That's what's going to work.
Yeah, peace.
And then focus on solutions. Well, we understand a lot about the problems already. Let's focus on solutions.
Yeah.
And here's a few of them right here. Did you know that FDR even created this idea of an economic bill of rights in 1944? You did not know that? Before he died, he laid it out. You know, back then, it was just the radio. And then he would do a movie reel, you know, in the theaters to be shown, you know, between movies. And he laid out his idea for an economic bill of rights, where everybody has a right to a job, health care, education, and even recreation, all kinds of things. You know, human rights, basically. He laid that out in 1944 as he was dying.
And what are we doing about that now? What are we doing about that now?
Crushing it.
We're not doing anything.
We're doing something
$1
the
billion
wrong way.
a day. What? Doing what?
Yep. Well, it's called imperialism. And the very countries that we demonize are anti-imperialist, like Iran. Yeah, it's not a perfect structure, right? But I can tell you, I know for a fact people have gone to Iran just in the last year. It is changing. Women are not wearing the hijab so much.
They're not forced to wear it. There are women who wear it, but like it's not forced. Yeah, I think that's like better way. But I get his point. Yeah, just
I think it's
hopefully
but that was the
wasn't
CIA.
unhelpful.
The CIA was behind that, and probably Mossad too. And Mossad was probably behind many assassinations, Dr. King, 9/11. You know. Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much.
We need a government of action for working families in this country. We need to shift the attention from the ultra-rich to us, the people, the workers.